smoke in the morning. The compound on Olateju Street had barely recovered from the fire. Room 14 was now a blackened skeleton, its walls cracked like burnt skin. Tunde stood in front of it, arms folded, trying to convince himself that the silhouette he saw the night before was just smoke, or trauma, or exhaustion. But deep down, he knew. She wasn't gone. Iya Alake was still here. Little Amina tugged at his shirt again. "Uncle Tunde," she whispered. "She's angry." Tunde swallowed hard. Who? The woman with white eyes. Baba Landlord's warning. 2 days later, Tunde visited Baba Landlord in police custody. The old man looked smaller, weaker, like the fire had burned part of his soul. "Tunde," he whispered urgently, "you must leave that compound." "Why? She's gone." "No," Baba Landlord said, shaking his head. "You destroyed her shrine. You broke the bond. Now she is free and furious." Tunde felt his stomach tighten. What does she want? The old man's eyes filled with tears. "You." The night of knocking. That night, Tunde couldn't sleep. The compound was too quiet. Even the generator refused to come on. At exactly 2:14 a.m., someone knocked on his door. 3 slow knocks. Tuk, tuk, tuk. "Tunde," a woman's voice whispered. "Open the door." His heart froze. It was her voice. The same voice from the burning shrine. He backed away from the door. The knocking grew louder. "Tunde, you were chosen." He grabbed his phone and dialed the police. No network. He tried to shout for help. No sound came out. The door handle began to turn on its own. The woman in the corridor. Tunde bolted out through the window and landed in the corridor. He ran toward the compound gate, but stopped dead. A woman stood there, wrapper tied around her waist, bare feet, eyes glowing white. She didn't walk. She glided. "Tunde," she said softly, "you cannot run from destiny." He stumbled backward. She raised her hand. The air grew cold. The lights flickered. And then, Amina's voice pierced the silence. "Leave him alone!" The spirit turned sharply. Amina stood there holding something wrapped in cloth. A small calabash. The spirit hissed. "You dare bring that before me?" Amina opened the cloth. Inside was a cowrie necklace, the same one Iya Alake used to wear. The spirit screamed and vanished into smoke. Amina collapsed. The child's secret. Tunde carried Amina into his room. She woke up minutes later, trembling. "Where did you get that necklace?" he asked. Amina looked away. "She gave it to me." Tunde froze. "Who?" "The spirit woman. Before she died the first time. She said I should keep it safe. She said I would know when to use it." Tunde stared at her horrified. "Amina, why you?" The girl's eyes filled with tears. "Because I can see them. All of them." The hidden room. Amina led Tunde to a part of the compound he had never noticed. A small wooden door behind the water tank. "She told me never to open it," Amina whispered. "But now we must." Inside was a tiny room filled with old charms, broken calabashes, photographs of former tenants, and a large, dusty book. A diary. Iya Alake's diary. Tunde opened it. The first page read, "The keeper must always be chosen. If the keeper refuses, the compound will drown in blood." Tunde felt his chest tighten. He flipped to the last page. "My husband is weak. The next keeper must be strong. The next keeper must be willing. The next keeper is Tunde Adebayo." His blood ran cold. The blood moon. That night, the moon turned red. The tenants panicked. Doors slammed. Children cried. Dogs barked endlessly. Tunde felt a presence behind him. He turned. Iya Alake stood there again, stronger, clearer, more solid. "You cannot escape," she said. "The compound chose you." "Why me?" Tunde shouted. "Because you are alone. Because you are broken. Because you are desperate. And desperate men make loyal keepers." She stretched her hand toward him. Amina screamed. The ground shook. The walls cracked. The compound light exploded. The final choice. The spirit pulled Tunde towards her. Amina grabbed his hand. "Tunde, don't let her take you." The spirit snarled. "Let go, child." Tunde felt his body weakening. His vision blurred. He saw flashes. Mama Sadi screaming. Kune begging. Papa Landlord crying. The burning shrine. The white eyes. The blood moon. He realized something. The spirit didn't want a keeper. She wanted a prison. She wanted someone to bind her again. Someone to trap her. Someone to suffer in her place. Tunde looked at Amina. "Give me the necklace." Amina hesitated. "Tunde, give it to me." She placed it in his hand. Tunde faced the spirit. "I accept." The spirit smiled triumphantly. But Tunde wasn't done. He threw the necklace around her neck. The spirit screamed. The ground split open. A whirlwind of dust and fire engulfed her. "Tunde!" Amina cried. He held her hand tightly. "I'm not her keeper," he whispered. "I'm her jailer." The spirit was sucked into the earth. The ground sealed. Silence. Aftermath. The next morning, the compound was calm. Too calm. The tenants whispered about the red moon, the shaking ground, the strange lights. But no one spoke to Tunde. No one dared. Amina sat beside him. "Is she gone?" she asked. Tunde looked at the ground where the spirit vanished. "No," he said quietly. "She's trapped." Amina nodded slowly. "Will she come back?" Tunde didn't answer. Because he knew the truth. He could feel her. Inside the earth. Inside the compound. Inside him. Waiting. Watching. Whispering. Tunde tried to steady his breathing, but the whisper inside him only grew stronger. It wasn't fading. It wasn't weakening. It was learning him. Amina shifted closer, her small fingers gripping his arm. "Uncle Tunde," she said softly. "She's not just trapped." Tunde turned to her confused. Amina's pupils flickered just for a heartbeat with a pale ghostly glow. She's listening. A cold tremor rolled through the compound. The ground beneath room 14 paused once, like something breathing underground. Tunde felt it. A presence. A hunger. This wasn't the end. It was the beginning of her return. And this time, Iya Alake wasn't coming back as a spirit bound to a shrine. She was coming back as something far worse. Something evolving. Something patient. Something that now lived partly inside him. If this story tightened your chest and made you glance over your shoulder, then you're exactly where you belong. Motherland Tales is where Africa's forgotten spirits rise again. Where legends breathe. Where shadows whisper and where the dead never stay dead. Subscribe and tap the notification bell so you don't miss what comes next. Comment, what do you think Iya Alake is becoming beneath the compound? Share this story with someone who loves supernatural African thrillers. Because this saga is far from over. Coming soon. The LAGOS Landlord 3. Iya Alake. The Awakening. She's no longer whispering. She's calling. And this time,